Hopefully they'll soon realize they've been conquered.
It has been 7 moons since we began to flood their land. The castle should have gone down by now. Enemy ships approaching!
So the gimmick for this level is that we need to destroy 6 of the glowing officers on the map and then the boss will appear. You can also see there are green gates on the map. The enemy will breach those, which will make more of their forces appear. I fail to see how this is a bad thing though, as it just gives us more stuff to hit. And we do want to hit as much stuff as possible, so that seems ideal to me. I suppose you could also say this level's layout is fairly interesting. It's somewhat more cramped than the other levels in the game. It's not a huge battlefield or anything. There are also a ton of spinning traps sticking out of the floors and wall, and I'm not quite sure what those are supposed to do because it's not like we're going to get hit by them, and throwing the enemies into them isn't really an option. Even if throwing the enemies into them was an option, we can probably deal far more damage to the enemies than any trap ever could.
The gate's been destroyed! We're breached!
The great sun's army.
See, our commander's all concerned, and he's like, oh no, more enemies have appeared, but I'm like, cool, more shit to hit, look at all these health bars. I know in plenty of Muso games there's an option to turn off the health bars, but I'm not sure why you'd ever want that. Because you don't get to see all the little red lines go down. You know, after I play Devil Kings or Sengoku Basara for a long period of time, I close my eyes and I see health bars everywhere, and that's exactly what I want. I just want a really big-ass sea of health bars to destroy. So they really try to play up Kaz as some kind of master strategist in the story for this game, and it's a little awkward, because it doesn't matter what strategy you have in this game, it's possible to just cut straight through any strategy the enemy could possibly concoct. You know, this game isn't about strategy. The most strategy here is, oh, who should I kill first?
The gate's been destroyed! They're coming in!
Now's our chance to drive them back.
I love how intense the music got there, like something seriously bad or dramatic was happening, but more enemies just appeared. It's not like that's a problem for us.
Excellent! You have opened the path!
That's it. It's time for me to shine. I am a child of the sun. You are nothing.
So the boss has appeared and we can just go and challenge him at any time, but with him a bunch of new enemies have also appeared, and that is again perfectly fine by me. This map may be rather cramped, but that just means that we can get the enemies all in a big bunch a lot easier. You know, about the name for this level, I understand that when they localized Sengoku Basara into Devil Kings, they were trying to think of really weird high fantasy stuff to add, to disguise the fact that this game used to be about Japan. But what the hell is a Giuthas Nam? Am I pronouncing that right? Giuthas Nam. How do you even pronounce that? What the hell is it? It's not like searching for it brings up anything besides Devil Kings. How did they come up with that name? It's probably some hipster foreign word that nobody uses anymore. Because I refuse to believe they made up a word that weird by themselves. It has to come from somewhere, and they just decided to use it in their game because they thought it sounded cool. You know, it's entirely possible Devil Kings is just a lot more cultured than I am. There's a character in this game named Eardean, and I always thought that name sounded really stupid, but maybe it can be traced back to some really deep, you know, origin in another language, and I only think it sounds stupid because I'm a white dude. You may have noticed that Kaz keeps talking about the sun, and yeah, the sun is fairly important to his character in the original Sengoku Basara, where he's called Motonari Mori. I'm not sure if he mentions the sun quite this often in the original Sengoku Basara, but yeah, it's important. Really, in the later games in the Sengoku Basara series, his association with the sun is played up a lot more. He has giant mirrors that cast giant sun ray lasers on people, and he has sun-based equipment, and it looks really great and cheesy and over the top. There's not enough sun-based imagery in this level. That could be intentional. Maybe the dreary, clouded, watery aesthetic of this level is meant to contradict with how much Motonari Mori values the sun, but I could also be thinking about it way too much. Devil Kings has the unfortunate side effect, or perhaps fortunate side effect, of making everyone sound way crazier than their Sengoku Basara counterparts. The idea behind Motonari Mori's character in the original Sengoku Basara is that he's a brilliant tactician and he's very pragmatic. Doesn't really care about what happens to the lives of his soldiers as long as his goals are accomplished. And in later games in this series, that means if you play as him, you're actually capable of hurting his own men, which is actually a really cool touch. He's one of the few characters that can do that. But anyway, in this game he just comes across as kind of crazy, won't stop talking about the sun all the time. But again, that's because he's supposed to be a different character with some of the same character traits. They did change his name and try to remove any reference to the original game. I do wonder how many people they fooled with that, though, because they didn't change any of the pre-rendered cutscenes, you know, you can't change those. It's very obviously Japanese in the pre-rendered cutscenes. Some of the level aesthetics were completely changed for Devil Kings, like Ujimasa's level was changed to be Egyptian-themed, and so were his character models. And the character models for Nobunaga and Mitsuhide's army were also completely changed. Devil King's army more resembles generic Black Knights than they do Japanese soldiers. But it's not like there was a lot of character depth in the original Sengoku Basara or anything. The original Sengoku Basara was just about being crazy. Now later in this series, on the other hand, Sengoku Basara 3 had some seriously moving, emotionally investing high drama. I'm not even joking. There's some deeply emotional, philosophical shit going on in Sengoku Basara 3, but in the first game, no, not so much. You can see Sengoku Basara 2 as sort of a waypoint between the two, but Sengoku Basara 3 is where the story kicks into high gear, and you have an actual moving narrative with deep and compelling characters. It's good shit. Sengoku Basara 3 was also completely translated into English with full English voice acting, and it's available in America. You can just go buy it whenever you feel like it on the PS3. Seriously, go buy it right now. It's so good. If you think what you're watching right now looks even a little bit entertaining, imagine this, but 10 times crazier and way better and more deep. Not just in the story department, but with game mechanics. Just, you know, go buy Sengoku Basara Samurai Heroes. That's the American name for Sengoku Basara 3. Just go get it right now. It's got to be cheap at this point. And I mean, if you're not gonna buy it, at least watch a couple of cutscenes and levels, and that'll convince you to buy it, I'm sure. Or just the opening, even. That beautiful English opening. I feel like we were doing something before I went off on this tangent about the other Sengoku Basara. Oh right, we were killing people. We're almost done, though. We only have this one guard captain, then we can move over to where where Kaz is stationed, and we can fight him and his last few commanders. This level is surprisingly long for how cramped it is. I mean, it's not long compared to the other levels, which can run up to 17 minutes, but I guess it's just because there are so many enemies in this cramped space that the level lasts as long as it does. But 11 minutes and 40 seconds is probably the average for playing as Devil Kings on this level. That is, assuming you want to get rid of all the red dots, which you should. The red dots are there for a reason. It's so you know where to kill things at. See, this red dot needs to go away, and so does this one. We're gonna get rid of them both at the same time. I like how Kaz decided that the perfect time to try and attack us was while we were using our Fury attack. Like, right in the middle of our Fury attack, he walked up from behind and got his ass wrecked, because for some reason the AI thought that was the best time to try and hit me. I always found Kaz's weapon to be rather underwhelming in this game compared to games later in the series. It's not like he's doing a bad job hitting us with it, though. Our health's going down pretty fast, all things considered. Yeah, maybe everyone besides Devil King and Kaz should consider leaving the area. It's not like we need anyone else right now. Like, Kaz's men aren't going to stop Kaz from dying, and none of my men are going to help me kill Kaz. I think I got this.
Not bad, but that's as far as you get. I wanted to see the sunrise one last time.
All is mine. Mine forever. Heaven and earth under my sword.